Welcome to Film Phreeks. This is Justin Llewellyn.
And Eddie Williams.
And tonight we're going to be doing a review of the newest Oceans film that came out, which is Oceans 8, the fourth film in the popular Oceans franchise that started with Oceans 11, Oceans 12, and Oceans 13 in the early 2000s. And this one is directed by Gary Ross, and is actually produced by Steven Soderbergh, who directed the other ones. And it's also produced, well, it's also, it stars a huge cast of talented actresses. You got Sandra Bullock, Kate Blanchett, Anne Hathaway, Sarah Paulson, the Helena Bonham Carter, and Rihanna. And this film is basically a spin-off / sequel to the other films, where Sandra Bullock's character is getting out of prison due to some history of stealing some stuff. And she basically gets with a team that's of different women throughout. And basically the story goes, they're planning to rob a jewel from a museum. It's basically a necklace that contains all these jewels, and they're trying to steal it from...
And it's worth like $150 million.
Yeah, and they're planning to steal it from this museum that contains all these jewels. And the film basically deals with them having to plot their way to rob it.
And just a little backstory here, not to go in too much detail. I'm a big fan of the ocean films. Now, I haven't seen the old one, the very, very old one from like the 50s or 60s.
Yeah.
But I've seen the trilogy with George Clooney, and I have to say, overall, it's a damn fucking good trilogy, in my opinion. I was a little underwhelmed with 12, but it still was a really, really good movie. 11 and 13 are my most standout movies. I fucking love both of those.
Yeah, me too. I'm a big fan of the Oceans movies as well, and I love that the Oceans films basically they brought back heist movies, like in a very, clever way. Because since Oceans 11 came out, at least the remake of 2001 that came out, we've had other countless films that tried to capitalize on its success. Like just last year, we just had that movie called Logan Lucky that was directed by the same guy, Steven Soderbergh. So,
which was actually a pretty fun movie.
Yeah, it was, and I actually really enjoyed 1 and 13 or 11 and 13. I wasn't really too big on 12, but I still thought it was good. But to me, I felt like after 13 came out that it was such a great closure that I really didn't expect them to make anymore. But
I didn't want them to because I thought it ended so good. They went aside from 12 kind of being kind of a step down, 13 was able to kind of really take it up a notch from even over 11. I was like, whoa, those between 11 and 13, those two right there, man, they were fun. Those movies, they were the type of movies that I didn't want to be over with because I was having such a blast with everybody. The whole cast was phenomenal. I mean, I don't want to go into too much detail. I just love all three of those films.
Yeah, I do too. And with this one, it kind of got me curious a little bit because I do like the cast they have behind it, and that's what really got my attention because I'm a big fan of Sandra Bullock, and so, her being part of pretty much the leader of the group kind of really got me interested. And so I can say after upon seeing the film, I can say that this was a good film. It was actually quite a lot of fun.
It was a good film, yes. It was a good film. I do have some minor little flaws. Nothing really killed the movie. It was a good movie. It was an enjoyment. I was enjoying it.
Yeah, and basically to get my pros out of the way, like I was saying with Sandra Bullock, her and the whole cast of this film are phenomenal. Her and Kate Blanchett and everyone, they all have fantastic chemistry, and I really enjoy the way that you start to get to know Sandra Bullock's character and the reason why she's doing all this to begin with. Which I really enjoyed.
And she was awesome. The whole cast I thought worked really well with each other. I don't think they were great. Now I'm not trying to be all pro male here. I'm not doing that. But I thought the male cast was a lot more fun than the girls were. But I still enjoyed the girls' chemistry.
Yeah, I did too. And also, I enjoyed the way that the film really plots out like you do see in the other Oceans films, because how they're supposed to be recruiting, because basically they all come from different backgrounds and stuff, but
kind of like the other Ocean movies.
Yeah, but basically, I'm glad that they didn't make them where they were replicas of the other characters, because at the beginning, well, I'm saying you kind of
did and kind of did.
Yeah,
it just depends on how deep you look.
I mean, you get a few of them that are kind of
a little bit, but they don't, like with Rihanna for once she's the hacker like the black dude was. I can't think of his name. In the original one, he was the hacker too.
Don Cheadle.
Yeah, Don Cheadle. And then you had the Asian girl kind of homage to the Asian dude, but she doesn't do like the little moves he could do, but she can still do moves to steal.
Yeah.
So it's like some people do kind of hold small elements to, like Sandra Bullock is Danny Ocean's sister, so she's playing Dan.
Yeah.
And then Cate Blanchett's kind of like the Matt Damon.
Yeah, so you get kind of similar archetypes that are from the other ones, but they still have their own personality, and I enjoyed.
They do, because they have their own personalities, because technically, like you said, it's kind of a reboot, but it's really not. It's actually part 4. Yeah,
and I enjoyed that. It also the two biggest standouts for me are both Sandra Bullock and Anne Hathaway. Really surprised me. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's something about Anne Hathaway. But there's something about Anne Hathaway's character that every time I see her on screen, she just made me laugh a lot. And I liked. There's something that goes on later on in the film that it's such a cool gotcha moment that it really it really surprised me with her. But also, to get my other pros out of the way,
they do have some parts that was a couple things like the comedy. The girls were pretty funny.
Yeah.
For what they did, there were some funny elements in this film that were pretty good.
I also liked hearing. Well, I also like the score as well. I mean, the score does kind of remind me a little bit of the other films, where it kind of has that very orchestral kind of mood, where it's kind of like jazzy in parts, and that those kind of heist movies like score that you see where they're playing their heist and everything, like. It's very catchy, is what I'm trying to say. It also, like I said, the film does have some fun moments where they're trying to get their plan together and everything, and then there's actually something that happens later on in the film that really surprised me, because there's a couple of cameos in this film that they brought some continuity from the other films, which I really enjoyed.
Yes, I do appreciate, like, what I really like in the pros, like, also was I enjoyed the story for what they were going, and the little kind of twist. I did like how they kept the same how they shot the scenes. You remember Ocean's 11, 12, and 13 had that really weird the way he shoots it. It's like, I can't explain it. You'd have to see those movies to understand what I'm saying. He kind of does it with this one, which was good. It made you feel like it is an Ocean's film. The cameos, I was expecting maybe one cameo, but we actually got not quite a few, but we got a few, and it was actually a big surprise they got them.
Yeah.
These two people. So I was like, whoa, and I really do like how they really acknowledge Danny Ocean in this film a lot.
Yeah, I do. That was really great. If I had really any sort of cons with the movie, I'll say that while the film, I'm still going along with the story and everything, I wasn't quite invested with this one compared to, say, the other Ocean's films, because I guess the whole going after the necklace and stuff just wasn't really my cup of tea. But I still liked what they did with it. Yes, I will
agree with you on this one. Here's my little minor con on that. I did feel like I was kind of a little unimpressed with how quick they got the Joel. Because if you guys remember in Oceans 11, 12, and 13, mainly 11 and 13, they go through a lot of fucking bullshit, and it just seems like a train wreck, and shit that doesn't go as planned, it keeps jumping in front of them, just constantly, oh fuck, oh man, you don't get that as much in this one.
Yeah,
it just seems like other than maybe one hiccup or two hiccups, they pretty much got that damn Joel pretty quick, and that kind of that was I wish they would have did a little bit better on that.
Yeah, I'll give you that, because I felt like the way.
Not only that, it did kind of feel like 12 a little bit, where 12 is kind of sticks out a little bit compared to the other ones. Where in that one they were after a painting, kind of like, and then that egg thing or whatever that diamond thing was they were looking for. Versus in this one is a necklace.
Yeah, so it did kind of have some thing. Yeah, that's what I was saying as well. The actual heist itself just wasn't quite as there like I was thinking, like on par with the other ones. But I still got it. I still went along with it though.
Yeah, and I did, and it did its typical, like, you know, where if you notice, if you watch all the ocean films where they, you know, when the shit, they get the you know, what they wanted, the movie's quite not over yet.
Yeah.
It still has like another 15, 20 minutes, and they did it with this one, and it was a pretty clever.
Yeah, it was. And then there's also something else that I don't want to spoil, but it was something I guess they could have done, like, I was expecting a twist for this in the movie, but it never happened, and that's what I thought they could have done a lot better with. But other than that, I still overall really enjoyed this movie, and I will say it was a lot of fun. If I'm comparing it to the other ones, I'd say it's probably my I have it probably just a slightly above 12, maybe below. I'd have to really rank them again, but I will say
I would have to really rank. I would have to really look into to see if it's going to be above or tied with 12. But I can tell you for sure, it's nowhere near as good as 11 and 13.
Same
11
here.
and 13 still hold the strongest point in the franchise.
Yeah, same here. So with that being said, overall, I'm going to give the film a low, compelling grade on the Film Phreeks meter.
I'm going to agree with you on that one. I'm going with a low, compelling grade on the Film Phreeks meter.
Fair enough. And for those of you who have also seen Ocean's 8 and the other Ocean's movies as well, and also if you've seen the original Ocean's 11 that came out in the 60s, let us know in the comments below what you thought about those movies. And if you like what you see here, you can feel free to like and subscribe to our channel and check out some of our other reviews at our website as well at filmphreeks.com. And we'll be seeing you on our next review. We'll see you later.
Later.